Welcome to Dubrovnik, welcome to NEM. What are your impressions so far?
Oh, fantastic event. I was just finished my panel about 5 minutes ago, and it was really great. Zelko, the moderator, was fantastic, and it was great to see.
Dubrovnik, and you get to see Dubrovnik and enjoy this.
Dubrovnik is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to be here a few years ago, and so it's a pleasure to be back.
Oh, cool. And I'm counting on that we'll be seeing each other in the next 5 years.
I hope so, yeah. I mean, I think it's fantastic that there was an eSports panel, first of all, this year, and the interest is obviously really high. Esports is growing so much, and I think there's more and more brands looking at it, more broadcasters getting involved. So I'd like to think if we come back next year that
it's going to grow a bit bigger.
It would have grown even more, yeah.
Can esports stand next to traditional popular sports?
Absolutely, yeah. I think esports are almost like an extension of Reach, and it's a way of engaging with a younger demographic. My background is football, and there's a lot of football clubs that are starting to get into the esports space. And if you look at a club like Manchester City, they're very much viewing esports as complementary to their on pitch, and it's almost an extension.
Not as a competition.
Not as competition. It's almost an extension of entertainment, I would say, and in ways to engage new fans, to broaden their reach across different areas, different demographics, and so absolutely, I think you can consider it as complementary.
I just had a conversation 2 minutes ago, and I had no idea that more people were watching final of something on esports, 1 billion if I'm not mistaken, than NBA final.
Yeah, the numbers are ridiculous. If you look at a League of Legends, for example,
League of Legends, that was it.
The prize money, first of all, is in the multi-million dollars, and from my point of view, from a FIFA point of view, I think it will take a long while to get to that level.
Yes.
But in terms of people understanding FIFA and football, I think it's a much easier game to get your head around from an esports point of view, because immediately you can see what's going on, you know who's winning. So from a fan relationship point of view, it's much easier to relate to football esports, but the prize money at FIFA at the moment is about $160,000 for the winner. So when you compare it to a League of Legends, where you're talking $9-10 million, it's a different level.
What do you think is going to happen to esports and in comparison to traditional popular sports in the next 5 years?
I think it's really interesting. I think there's how rights holders develop their broadcast, whether it's through VR, AR, I think that'll be really interesting. My role at EA Sports was all about merging the virtual world to the real world. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for that to develop further, and esports will be part of that in some capacity. And I could see a day when esports is actually the predominant engagement vehicle, but there will always be live sports. I think naturally people want to watch live sports, and people understand the competitive nature of live sports and how good the athletes are. Esports is very similar though, and athletes on esports are, there's been research to show that the blood pressure and the stresses on the body is very similar to an actual athlete we would describe as an athlete. So I think esports is a sport in its own right.
But then don't forget, when talking about esports and football, don't forget about WAGs, please.
About what?
WAGs, women of football players.
Yeah.
So that's a very important thing when talking about sports and football.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at Asia, look at South Korea, for example, there's esports stars out there that are celebrities in their own right, and they have these, WAGs, as you describe it, and they drive big fancy cars, and you would compare them maybe to a footballer, a top footballer in the Champions League. So, there's no reason why that can't happen, but
you have to have it.
Yeah.
Digital version of Victoria Beckham. If you have David Beckham, you need to have Victoria as well.
It's possible.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Pleasure.